I studied film, but classical film, traditional film, and then I ended up in a screening. This was in the 80s, I guess, or in the 90s. So it's quite a long time ago. I ended up in a screening of experimental film in Stuk in Leuven because there wasn't a lot going on at that time in terms of showings of experimental film, and I was completely sold. And actually, quite quickly after, I also left film school because everything that I found there, the poetry of it, the adventure of cinema, um, yeah, I didn't find any more within the traditional, let's say, filmmaking practice that they were teaching us in the film school. So yeah, I quite immediately left the film school, and then I've been hooked ever since. Yeah, I'm quite excited by that history. I mean, I'm excited by experimental film history in general, but specifically, I would say about that time, because it must have been quite wild. It must have been incredibly entertaining to have all these legendary, well, in the meantime, legendary filmmakers all together at the Belgian coast. I think the last edition was 74. There, it's also there were not a lot of editions, but they are legendary. It seems to be that every edition of experimental was a blast and marked history basically. So I think it's still very inspiring. So yeah, it's something that I really treasure. And then of course L'Âge d'Or came out of that. I mean, every initiative that cherishes film in that way, and let's say the film that is sometimes not so easily accessible. Yeah, you could say experimental film, but you can also call it adventurous cinema, poetic cinema. That aspect of cinema is where my heart is. If I think of experimental, I think of the performances and the parties and stuff, and so I'm thinking of that. But also, it's a different time, and I think now the naughtiness is by simply existing. Is by existing and really paying attention to films that make you see the world in a different way, that go left and right of the mainstream, that resist the norm, and I think that's absolutely wonderful and naughty enough. I think I got inspired or fascinated. I got fascinated by um, this capacity that we have to be fluid, maybe especially in dark and strict times, mainly through a group of friends who are transitioning, not necessarily from one gender to another, but simply their wish to slide on the gender spectrum, to embrace the complexity of who they are, and to express all aspects of their personality um, in through the way that they dress, through the way that they love, through the way that they imagine the world. And yeah, I found that incredibly inspiring. There's a lot of joy to be found um, in this, what is it, exploring of identity. I mean, in a lifetime, in general, we change, we unravel, unfold, we learn, we grow, we transform continuously and gloriously, hopefully. So and there's a lot of joy and a lot of inspiration to be found in